Geminis. What is that? Alright. So, I started yours and then I had to stop it because I was like, I need to get all the energy of Gemini. And I kept catching on to Aquarian energy. And I was like, okay, I'm still feeling that one. So, let me tap into your energy fully. So I'm not reading Aquarius on you. Let's see. Okay. There's a lot. But let's keep them. Maybe there's a lot on your mind. Okay. Mortality. Life is brief, bright, beautiful, and yours to live. You might be going through an existential crisis or kind of like really realizing that, you know, your time here is limited to do what you want to do, so you best get on it, you know? Falling, the unknown, descent, momentum, and change, right? So, yeah, it looks very, like you're experiencing kind of an emotional upheaval. That's what I'm seeing here, like an emotional upheaval. Manage to be glad. Create your own happiness regardless of the conditions. Alright? It's not easy to do, although it can be very important. It's kind of, you know, being in that energy of it doesn't matter what other people's energy is, you're the one choosing what you're going to feel and what you're going to think and how you're going to handle that. Curiouser and curiouser. Discovery, inquiry, weirdness, and curiosity. So there is something that you're trying to understand or trying to make sense of. Maybe there's like an energy around you that you feel you need to understand better. Such a curious dream. Grounding, returning to reality, and coming home. Right? And so that really talks about being kind of, it's kind of like I told Aquarius. Like I said, you guys are kind of on similar energy. Even some of these cards are the same. So maybe you and Aquarius are on very similar energy. But it's kind of that energy of seeing reality for what it is. But also not being afraid to dream up a reality that is different. You know? Shine bright like a candle, you will make it through this. This feels very emotional, like you're facing something here. Kind of like a dark night of the soul. Doing a lot of shadow work. Existential crisis. I feel like you're going through the whole enchilada right now. It's, like spiritual evolution. We go through this in phases, right? And this is that rough phase. I like that there's a Picasso painting in the background. If we know anything about Picasso, he actually wasn't that admired while he was alive. It wasn't until after he was dead that people started realizing his greatness, you know? And maybe that's something that you fear. Maybe it's something like you want people to recognize your greatness while you're here. You don't want to have to wait to be great, you know? And I feel that that is fair. If you want to embrace that, if you want to pull your energy out into the world and shine like that, you absolutely should. And you shouldn't be held back. You know, never feel dragged down, right? I do feel a lot of change happening, and this change is confusing for you. It's something that you're not You probably did not expect to be facing what you're facing or feeling what you're feeling. And for a spirit to be asking you to be happy regardless of your conditions, or to bring yourself into a happy place, that's where you find your peace. It's not in a peaceful meadow, as many people would think. It's right there in the front lines of the war of your life. And it's where you reach this moment where you're like, fuck everybody, fuck all their energies, fuck all that. It's about you, and you keeping your vibrations high, and you being glad about who you are, what you have, and the opportunities at hand, right? Trusting in the universe is hard, especially when you don't really trust at all. And I feel like that's something that you gotta work on, because that's something that is creating kind of this dark night of the soul. It's that inability to trust. Nine of Pentacles in reverse. I feel like in your recent past, you felt like you had your wish fulfillment. However, I feel that it was taken from you, or you felt like you had to let it go. Yeah, Two of Pentacles, a change had to come, right? Which is kind of funny that this is showing up right over the Falling card, because that talks about going into the unknown and the momentum and the change. This is making a decision that will change your life. Ten of Swords. This is where you stop being the victim. Stop playing the victim, right? I often tell people, because I work with a lot of people on trauma and stuff, usually the people who are the victims or who continue playing the victims become the person that victimized them, right? And so the best way to not is you need to let go of the past hurts. You need to close out those cycles. You need to let situations die. And with the Mortality card and the Ten of Swords, you might actually have an actual death in your life. Like that could be triggering this existential crisis. If a loved one has passed or is passing. And this could be life-changing for you. This could be an emotional roller coaster for you. But you will make it through it. You just need to work on grounding yourself through this. So let's see what else. The World. You're cutting out cycles here. I keep saying circles instead of cycles. But yeah, honestly, that's kind of what it is. There's a difference between the spiraling cycle and the circle, right? A spiral, yeah, it loops and you see the familiar, but if you look at a spiral, it goes in a direction. It either goes down or it's coming up, but a spiral doesn't stop moving. Right? It's just either moving up or down. A circle is very complacent because you're stuck in one loop that just keeps going around and you need to transcend that and make it more of a spiral, to be honest, or you're at least there's a direction, you know. The Hermit card, Virgo energy. This is all about going inside, having time for deep introspection, maybe shutting out the world a bit too, with the world card being there. Maybe you do need that time to not be in anyone else's energy. You might need time for solitude to make this big decision in your life, or to go through what you're feeling. That being said, Two of Cups is coming, right? And which is all about union and coming together. So maybe this is what triggers it. You know, when you start focusing on yourself and loving yourself and letting go of the past and working through these, these things, when you take initiative on that, then this could bring in positive energies and positive connections that do last. Not every relationship is actually doomed to fail. You just have to know how to be in a relationship for both, right? Both people in the relationship, or multiple, if you're poly, whatever. There has to be a level of being able to choose the best case scenario in your connection. You got 2-2 so far. 2-2 is all about unity. Partnership, duality, polarity. 6 of Cups. You might be a parent, or they might be a parent. Sometimes that's the thing that draws you in. The fact that they're a parent. I know from personal experience, somebody who works well with kids and, is really good as a role model or whatever for children, they tend to be better at relationships because they know how to handle the emotional ups and downs of children, right? And if you can handle the emotional ups and downs of children, guess what, chicken butt? You can handle anyone's emotional ups and downs, right? Page of Cups in reverse. Yeah, you have to let something go, though. Something that you may have invested a lot of emotions into. Something that you may have thought was it. But if it's only bringing you sadness and heartbreak and it's not coming through for you, guess what? It ain't for you. Right? Things that are for you flow very organically. They just kind of happen. It doesn't need to be forced. There doesn't need to be any kind of pressure, A Hierophant, Taurus energy. You're learning and you're growing. You're developing at a pretty rapid rate. And I think this is freaking awesome. Page of Wands in reverse. Yeah, that's ending communication with this Page of Cups, I believe. Because they're showing up together. And what I'm seeing is this, through this learning and growing with the Hierophant energy that you're sitting in, you're learning to let go of things, to stop talking to certain people, to close out cycles that just are not good for you. And so, sometimes it requires kind of a spiritual surgery to cut these cords. The emotional ties, spiritual ties are very hard to break. Not impossible. Nothing's impossible. The Chariot, Cancer energy. You may be moving. You may be called to move. Traveling even with the World card. Embarking on somewhere. So, let's see the Kali Oracle. get you some advice while you're embarking on this journey. I love this. There's so much growth and development in you right now. I feel that whatever you're going through, whatever challenges there are, just remember to give your burdens and your fears, your doubts, any of that to Spirit. Just let Spirit handle it. Have trust in that. Like, when I give my problems to Spirit, I'm like, look, I'm handing them to you so I don't have to think about them anymore. And so when I do that, then shit just gets done. Shit gets... And it's really nice, knowing that, like, Spirit is on your side when you're embarking on your best case scenario, and when you really are trying to be in alignment with being a just and good person, Kali Mahamaya. When a situation becomes unnecessarily complicated or confusing to your heart, Kali Mahamaya arises spontaneously as a protective bearer of universal truth. Ultimately, her revelations shall lead you beyond that which is deceptive or not right for you. This you are promised. She protects you from that which is unworthy of your heart and seeks to constrain your spirit. Like I said. I love when that happens, when I'm like literally telling you a thing and then the card shows up next saying exactly what I was saying. Like it confirms it. This is the clarity that I think we need. Give all the confusion, all the doubt to Spirit. Let Spirit handle that shit. Let it all kind of be taken care of for you, Because you ain't got to do it all by yourself. That's not your responsibility. You ain't got to handle it. Air signs, always trying to do the most by themselves. Always, never looking, but honestly, I feel that somebody will be helping you. This Two of Cups doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. Two of Cups is partnership. It could be a business partnership. It could be, helping each other out, meeting each other halfway, whatever that is for you. I like to throw out the possibility that not all connections and unions are romantic, okay? Because romanticism is just a third-dimensional desire, right? Whereas companionship and partnership, that's something that kind of transcends that. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have for you. I hope this was helpful. Namaste. I love you guys, and I'll catch you later.